Hey guys, I know it's been a while, but, I've been in school and everything, so now I'm almost done with school, so I have some time, and I'm gonna make a few videos tonight. The first up is Surfer Girl. This is one I hadn't, reviewed yet, so I thought I would, review it. This is one of my favorite Beach Boy albums. You can see I got it signed by David Marks, and Dean Torrance signed it on the back. I got to see them in 2021, and with the Surf City All Stars, and it was an amazing show, and I got to meet both of them, which was an amazing experience. One of the best nights of my life. Meeting both of them was such a huge it was so. I'm still speechless, even though it was, a couple years ago. But, they were both very nice, people. And as a guitar player, it was really cool to meet, David. And, of course, Dean is just amazing. But yeah, so I got a sign by them, which is really cool. But yeah, anyway, so this album was released, in 1963, their second album of that year. And it's the first album to be credited, or to have Brian credited as the producer, which is really cool. And so let's get into it. So the album opens with Surfer Girl, and it's a classic Beach Boys song. There's not a whole lot to say about it that hasn't already been said. It's a great song. Features Brian on lead. Just an amazing song. The Lonely Sea was like their first ballad, but this was like their first major ballad that they did. Great song. Next is Catch a Wave, which was later kind of revamped into Sidewalk Surfing by Jan and Dean. It's a really great, surfing tune, it's become, sort of like a well-known song, even though it wasn't put out as a single. Features Mike on lead and then Brian too. Great, little surfing song, and it's one of my favorites. The next is The Surfer Moon, another one with Brian on lead, and I love this song. The strings on this are just amazing. And this you really get to hear Brian's vocal ability at such a young age in this song, and you just love it. Great song. Next is South Bay Surfer, which is I get a kick out of this one because I'm pretty sure it's all five, or actually all six of them, because even though Al Jardine wasn't in the band at this time, he is on this album quite a bit. He even gets a writing credit on South Bay Surfer along with Dennis and Brian, if I'm not mistaken, which it's just the Old Folks at Home song. So, I'm sure Dennis probably came up with, some of the surfing lingo and things to throw in there, make it a surfing song. But I love the song. I love the pounding on the drums and everything. It's just a fun little song, little kind of tune, It's filler, but I mean, to me, to other people, but I think it's a cool song. Next is The Rocking Surfer, just a basic, surf instrumental of the time. There's no, not a whole lot to say about it. This one definitely, sort of a filler type of thing, but, it's a surf instrumental, Next we close out side one with, Little Deuce Coupe. Mike takes the lead on this one, and again, it's, car song. They were doing that thing, they put kind of like a surfing song on one side and a car song on the other side, and that's, classic Beach Boys song, huge hit. And of course, the next album would be called Little Deuce Coupe, and it would have, this song on it, along with Our Car Club, which is also on here. Yeah, just great, great song. Side two opens up with In My Room, which is probably the first time you really get to, first time Brian writes on a more deep personal level, I think. The harmonies on this are just amazing. Carl's guitar on it, it's just an amazing song, another Beach Boys classic. Next is Hawaii. Brian and Mike take the lead on this. And again, you know, it's just a cool, fun, you know, surfing song that's become kind of a well-known song over the years, even though it wasn't put out as a single. I really enjoyed this one. I like Dennis's drumming on this, really good. You know, they just, again, you know, a really great surf song. It's one of my favorites. Next is Surfer's Rule, which Dennis takes the lead on this, and it's a really fun song. You know, it's really nice to hear Dennis sing, because especially during this period, he didn't do a lot of lead singing. You know, he didn't do a lot of lead singing at all. I mean, you know, he did some more later, but you know, he only, you know, on these early albums, you know, he may have gotten one, you know, that's about it. But it's really cool to hear him sing, and you can tell he's putting his heart and soul into it, you know, because him, you know, being the only real surfer in the band, you know, he, you know, knew what he was singing about, you know, and he loved it. And, it's just, I love that song so much, and the knock at the Four Seasons at the end is kind of funny, too. Next we get Our Car Club, which Brian and Mike take the lead on this, and I'm pretty sure this is the Wrecking Crew on this, and this is, like, I think the first time, or at least one of the very first times Brian used the Wrecking Crew, especially on a Beach Boys recording. And it's very, you know, it's, you know, Brian's, you know, genius is already showing, you know, and this is only, you know, the third album. And, you know, even though it's a song about cars, you know, it's very, you know, good for its time, you know, it's ahead of its time, you know, especially the backing track. You know, it's just the you know, the drums on it are just amazing, you know, and it's just, he's already showing such an amazing talent at such a young age. And that's always been one of my favorite Beach Boys songs. Yeah. So, next we get Your Summer Dream, another, ballad sung by Brian, and, I love this one. You know, it has just, Brian's vocal in it is, I think, one of his best. You know, and the band has such a nice sound on it. It's just really, really good. You know, just really, really great. And, again, you know, another great example of Brian's, you know, expertise, you know, and genius. It's such an early age. The album closes out with Boogie Woody, you know, a basic, you know, dun dun dun, you know, type of, you know, boogie, you know, type of piano thing that, Audrey, the Wilson's mother, taught them, you know, at a very young age. And so it was, you know, again, you know, a filler, you know, just Brian, you know, cranking out on that piano, you know, hey, we got an album track, you know. But it's a fun way to close the album, you know, especially after a ballad, you get a bit of a pickup. I think it's a good way to close it. And it's a fun little instrumental, you know, so, hey, but, yeah, so I think that pretty much sums it up. Definitely one of my favorite Beach Boys albums. Just such a great listen all the way through. There's not a bad track on it. And I love it. So, yeah, there you go. Surfer Girl by the Beach Boys. What do you think?